Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast. This is episode number 795, and today, quite differently, I will be recording a couple of segments like I used to a long time ago, and then I will stitch them together to make one episode from a current day instead of the day before. The first segment today is we're still on Tenerife. You can see Elizabeth and Julian going down there. It's El Charco de Viento or del Viento, which is basically the basin or a pool of wind or something like that, loosely translating. And it's basically one of those naturally created tidal pools that people use to swim around. And because on this side of Tenerife and in general Canaries, on the northern sides where they are the most exposed to Atlantic and where you can't really create any artificial beach successfully that will last, that's what they use for swimming. So this is El Charco del Viento, and we are going to spend a little bit of time here. Afterwards, we'll be just traveling along the coast towards home. So we kind of got away about 15 to 18 kilometers from home to the coast, and we'll be checking a couple of interest points along the way. So I'll be updating as we go. So once again, El Charco del Viento. It's very windy today. It's super windy, and the weather kind of broke up and got really rainy. It's still very hot, but rainy. Well, as you can see, it's not rainy at the moment because we kind of got away from that. But in the morning, and especially up the mountains where we were, it was really, really windy. So for now, that's the first segment, and I'll record the next one probably when we reach the next point of interest, if it's worth it, obviously. If not, I will skip that and record in the next one, and then I'll stitch them together so you can keep watching and you'll see everything. So I had a great expectations and intentions in making it multi-segment episode, and technically it is multi-segment because it's the second, unfortunately, last segment. But if you consider that I have a bit of extra footage from the drone, I'll add those at the end of the video to make it more interesting, and thus creating a multi-segment video, in fact. So let me just wrap up and give you just quick idea of the whole thing that I started at the Charco del Viento. So we explored the area. Charco del Viento is one of those tidal pools naturally created very roughly and differently than many other tidal pools. It has more access for oceanic waves and water to get into it, so it needs to be used carefully because it's highly exposed to the raw ocean, as well as you need to really look at the tides and make sure that it's safe to proceed. The tidal pool itself is also fairly shallow in many areas and rocky, so I'd say that probably without foam socks or something to protect your feet, it will be probably difficult to use it. Regardless, it's quite wide and interesting spot. Definitely worth checking. We didn't swim there. We just checked that up. I did a couple of shots from a drone, and we wrapped up and went to another point of interest, which was another tidal pool. This time we managed to find a very interesting spot that was down the cliff with a proper walkway as well and stairs. It was a very small kind of village that was nicely painted and looked well maintained, although it was definitely mostly holiday homes, but traditional Tenerife kind of buildings that were that are used probably as holiday homes. But down the cliff, when we walked, we found a proper natural tidal pool. We were kind of mid tide as it was returning, so we knew it will be less and less safe, but we didn't have intention to swim there. We went to explore. There was plenty of people down there, plenty of people swimming in the pool and just around kind of on the rocks enjoying the sun because the weather was beautiful. So we also settled up. Elizabeth kind of used a bit of sun while Julian and myself, we deployed the drone and did a couple of shots from the drone as well. So I'll add them at the end of the video to make it more interesting and for you to see basically both tidal pools that we visited. The last point of interest that we visited, I didn't take any shots per se from a drone. I'll check if I have any horizontal shots from the phone. If not, I might just put something short from a vertical perspective. It won't be as nice as the horizontal on YouTube, but at least you will be able to see where we went. And it was a kind of a small beach that wasn't that interesting, but we went to again to a kind of group of buildings, like a small village or a thing like that, that was built around the cliff and kind of eroded cave. Well, that was probably cove rather than cave, but there was a cave underneath. But in the middle of that small bay that was very roughly kind of battered by the ocean was El Punton, which basically looked like a big male genitalia sticking out of the water. But even though you can say like it's just a rock, but from my perspective, it was indeed that roughness of the ocean and that rock in the middle of it and the cave underneath the cliff in the cove that you're just walking by and you're not even aware that you're crossing above the cave was quite interesting. I didn't get a chance to get much of that cave because we spotted that late when we were returning, so I didn't deploy the drone. We were already tired, but at least I got some pictures of Punton, so I'll just put the picture there for a couple of seconds at the end of the video so you can see it. And later on we just went back home and enjoyed a bit of time. We did our meal and just kind of chilled in the villa or villa, enjoying the house that we rented. So not much else happened in the evening except that it started getting very windy. And when we returned home, it was already, we had a couple of plants turned over, some leaves in the pool, and it was very windy. But in the evening, we decided to go after dinner for a short walk uphill and to the viewing point just above us. And there I used the phone and also took a picture, or even probably a video, of the panorama, beautiful panorama of the La Orotava and Puerto de la Cruz below us. So I might put it in there as well. So probably quite interesting end of the video. So if you want to see it, sit tight, enjoy, and have a great rest of the day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Stay tuned and see you again tomorrow.